that too, okay? But the reality of the situation is clear. I think it was a basketball play
where she shot 0 for 8 from the floor. She was scoreless through the whole game.
Angel Reese may be the worst perceived superstar.
Angel Reese scored just 4 points against the Fever, and Stephen A. Smith did not hold back. He said Reese's focus on her image is overshadowing her game, while Caitlin Clark, even injured, is keeping her name alive in the WNBA spotlight. Is this the harsh truth Reese needs to hear, or is Smith way off base? Let's break it all down.
never in Caitlin Clark's face, taunting her the way that she did when they mimicking what Caitlin Clark was doing.
Angel Reese is a good player. Like, she's solid. She's a great rebounder. Where y'all go wrong is trying to compare her to 22.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now back to the video.
He's not a good enough player to have a rivalry with Caitlin Clark. I'm sorry. She's just not a good enough player. She's not good enough.
In the Sky's first 2 games. Since then, however, her shooting percentage has went from 22.7%.
Imagine this. Angel Reese steps onto the court, the WNBA spotlight shining directly on her, fans buzzing about her potential. All that noise, all that hype, and she walks away from the game with just 4 points. 4. Not exactly the performance anyone expected, especially from a player who carried so much momentum from an explosive college career. The buzz surrounding Reese wasn't just because she played well last season. Her rivalry with Caitlin Clark became a storyline that transcended basketball. People expected dominance. They wanted her to be the player who could take over and shift the game. But against the Indiana Fever, she wasn't that player.
To numerous opponents en route to the Final Four. And then Angel Reese and LSU bust their living you-know-what at that particular moment in time.
They lost by 35 and 25. Can y'all stop mentioning this girl like, can we stop acting like that's even a rivalry?
Now here's what made it stand out even more. Caitlin Clark wasn't even on the court. Clark's been sidelined, healing from an injury, yet she continues to dominate the headlines and conversations about the league. You'd think that would open a window for Reese to remind everyone why she deserves to be there. Instead, her performance raised more questions. 4 points, 2 for 9 shooting, a couple of rebounds, all while also getting one of her layups swatted away in the second quarter. It was the kind of night where nothing seemed to click.
But loving the fact that they're being allowed to compete. We should not judge women competing against one another differently than we would judge.
Even if you are an Angel Reese, a Sky, there's no way you can watch her play and think she's as good as so many of these other. But there's no way.
Remember when everybody was talking about, oh, Angel Reese has been in the lab? This proves. Nah, I don't know what she's working on, but it's certainly not her inside game.
Stephen A. Smith didn't sugarcoat it. Yes, he acknowledged her rebounding skills. Yes, he hinted that her defensive presence has potential. But what about her offensive struggles? Smith argued that rebounding alone won't make her a star in the WNBA. If you're supposed to be one of the league's next big names, you don't put up those numbers in a game where the national spotlight's waiting for you. And it's not just about stats. The bigger issue is that she's building an image off the court. TikToks, endorsements, the whole social media universe that isn't matching what fans are seeing on the court.
Come to the WNBA. No fault of Caitlin's at all. But in the end, because of her greatness and because people were resistant to it.
31.1 overall as a 6'4" power forward. That's awful.
Smith drove the point home. Reese still has time to own her narrative, but only if she starts delivering where it matters during the games. She's at a turning point. But what really ignited things is how those inevitable comparisons to Caitlin Clark came roaring back into the conversation. And that's where things get even messier. You know what's crazier? Caitlin Clark didn't even suit up for that game against the Indiana Fever. and yet her name was everywhere. Why? Because that's the kind of energy she brings to the league. Even while nursing an injury, Clark stays front and center in the WNBA conversation. Her consistency and leadership make her impossible to overlook, whether she's on the court, on the bench, or not even in the arena. That ability to stay relevant? It's what separates good players from stars.
I don't think it's much ado about anything. I think both of you are 100% correct in terms of not only attributing it to competition.
Angel Reese has got off to a rough start this season, as she has only made 5 of her 22 shots.
2 of 6 from the free throw line. She had 2 points, 12 rebounds. 8 rebounds came off of her own missed layups.
Now let's put that next to Angel Reese. Reese had her chance to shine without Clark stealing the spotlight. But after scoring just 4 points, people are left wondering if she can step up when it matters most. Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back on this one either. He brought up Caitlin Clark's reputation for delivering, whether it's knocking down threes when her team needs them, dishing out assists to keep the offense flowing, or dominating opponents with her court vision. Compare that with Reese's game against the Fever, where her offensive impact was barely noticeable. No threes, no momentum-changing plays, just 4 points on 2 for 9 shooting and a tough blocked shot.
Because people were hating on her because of her elevated popularity and the fact that she had gone at Caitlin Clark that way.
Bro, get the rebound, kick it out, bro. We respect, yeah, you hustling, you getting the boards, but bro, kick it out.
There's more, though. Smith called attention to what he sees as the difference between Clark and Reese: mindset. He pointed out that Clark is tied for the 3rd most triple-doubles in WNBA history after only 50 games. 50. That stat alone shows her ability to constantly contribute across the board, offense or defense, healthy or not.
How many of them step-back threes? Because she was working on her step-back threes a lot this summer. She was working on that a lot this summer, right? Shooting that 3.
The Chicago Sky have won 2 straight games, giving them a 2-4 record during the 2025 WNBA season.
Smith emphasized that Reese has talent, no doubt, but talent alone isn't what the WNBA rewards. He said it best when he reminded everyone the WNBA is not a charity. Getting minutes, getting respect, it all has to be earned on the court, game after game. Right now, Clark's doing it. Reese? Not so much. And that's what Smith's critique boiled down to. This isn't just a comparison of stats. It's about leadership. It's about proving you can carry a team. For now, Clark's the leader people rally around. Reese still has that to prove. So where does she go from here?
At the moment, I got it. The fact that the Sky was getting romped by 35 certainly didn't help matters.
After losing their first 3 games by a combined 73 points, the Sky have responded by rising to 4th place in the Eastern Conference standings.
You miss layups when there's 0 people there sometimes. You think you gonna make it when it's 5 people there what they aren't? Like, come on, bro. Like, this is...
Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back. And honestly, he might have a point. Angel Reese has all the tools to be a force in the WNBA, but potential means nothing if it doesn't show up on the court. Smith's words were blunt. The WNBA doesn't wait for you to get it together. Either you contribute or you're gone. Simple as that. That's the reality Reese is facing now. Fans and critics alike want to see substance, not just the promise of it. So can she rise to meet the challenge? Only her next games will give us the answer. Stay tuned.